Hello, I'm Elizabeth Arundale. Me and Jared Stenteford came together to put together North Atlanta Water Polo. Me and my husband Chris moved back from Washington State, just outside of Seattle, 2019. My girls played for Jared at Collins Hill because Norcross didn't have a girls team. That's how I got to know him. I'm really touched by his passion. I really enjoy his drive. He just is such a great coach that pulls the best out of his players and really knows how to encourage them, how to motivate them. When he said he wanted to start a club, I said, I do too. So we kind of got busy. We had our first board meeting in February 2020, and we all know what happened after that. So we kind of put it on a shelf until the worst was over. And then as soon as people were getting back in the water again, we started talking again. I come from a big family. I grew up in Decatur. I went to Lakeside. I swam. I didn't play water polo. It really wasn't an option in the 90s. Me and my husband met at Berry College, where we both played soccer on the ladies and men's teams, respectively. Then we just had a bunch of kids ourselves, and when we lived in Washington, that's when our kids got involved in water polo. We had them in summer league, a small, kind of a low commitment, semi-competitive league. They played water polo against the teams that they swam against earlier in the summer, in the swim season. When my son, who's a senior now, George, got to be 11, he really wanted to start playing club polo, where he would travel and go to the Cap 7 tournament in California. He would go to Vancouver and play tournaments in Canada, and just outside of Portland. He loved it. He came to life. He has dyslexia, and it was a real struggle with him to find a place where he fit in, where he was successful. When he was in the water, I just saw him come to life, and so that's when I committed. I said, no matter what happens, I need to make water polo part of his life and have him always have access to the water, have access to a team. That's just a little bit about me. The other points in the parent meeting were discipline. Jared and I had put our heads together a few times regarding what we were seeing on deck, and it wasn't syncing with my vision of the club. My vision of the club was discipline, excellence. You're putting your all in at the pool and in every training session. Trying to better yourself, trying to be the best player you can be, taking advantage of the coaching, asking questions, calling your teammates to higher standard. I wasn't really seeing that on the deck. There were several people who were, when asked point blank to help move the ropes out, they would skirt it and dodge it, avoid any hard work. I didn't know quite what to do with that. So Jared and I had talked. Now Jared comes from a very disciplined background. He grew up in South Africa. They were very strict there. They demanded discipline, excellence. And so we both measured our vision up against what was happening, and we were wanting to get on the same page with the parents and to let them know we're going to crack down on any behavior we see that is not close to that. If we see people talking back, people shirking, not applying their best self, we'll pull them out, have a discussion with them. We will make them do wall sits, make them do sprints, whatever needs to happen in order to provide for the players who want to be there, be the best they can be, provide that type of environment for them. Another point during the parent meeting was tournaments. We wanted to really emphasize the importance of tournaments. Now, when I sent out the survey, I might have sent the wrong wording. There was a parent at the meeting that asked the question. Survey sounded more of like, could you be interested in this? And less of a signing up. What I meant to do, do you want to sign up for this? Instead of, would you like to have more information on this? Going forward, I will make an effort to make my intentions more clear regarding the tournament travel. Tournaments are important. They provide the reward for the player, but also a test. When I say reward, I mean you're working hard. It's kind of like when you want to go to the Disney Marathon. You're going to be working hard and putting in those grueling runs, 7:00 a.m. runs, raining. It's hard work to be disciplined and hold yourself to that. But then you'll get the reward of running with a bunch of people, that endorphin high. So that's the reward I'm talking about. You're not training for no reason. It's really hard to train for no reason. You could ask Jared, he plays on the Dynamo Masters team. It's hard to train even for a reason, to give them that chance to show this is what I've been working for, to bond with their team members. It's a big bonding experience, going away and staying in hotel rooms and going out to eat and spending all that time with your team. It's a bonding experience. The other reason is a test. Have we been working our hardest? Have we been putting in the time that we need to put in the pool? Are all the team members coming to practice? We're going to test that against these other teams. How hard have they been working? We don't know, but it shows in the pool. The hours that they've gone to the pool, the time that they've worked on drills and plays. As a player, it'll make you come home and say, wow, we didn't do as well as we thought we'd do. So I think we need to work harder. I'm going to commit to going to more practices, doing dry land before, commit to meeting up, going to the gym and doing squats, getting our legs stronger. Whatever it is where we see a weakness. So the reward and the test of tournaments is very important. I'm going to work hard on putting forth a schedule for the rest of the year, because I know as a parent, budgeting those tournaments is hard, especially when they kind of surprise you. Like February, we need a tournament in Florida. We have to come up with $200, $300 just between hotels and tournament fees and travel. I will work hard into making a 6 to 8 month view ahead of what the next year will look like, so that you guys can make a better decision as far as like budgeting and travel. One of the parents asked about what is the difference between USA Water Polo or this club, North Atlanta, and American Water Polo and the Georgia High School League. Jared explained it, I think, the best by saying USA Water Polo clubs, North Atlanta, Dynamo, Kraken has a new club, is over by Wildcats, and there's a new club, USA Water Polo Club in Douglasville. So now there's 4 USA Water Polo clubs in Georgia. A year ago or 2, there was only 1. The difference he was saying was it's like USA Water Polo clubs are like the farm teams for the national team. Player development is kind of specific. The tournaments are national usually. There's Junior Olympics, which is a national tournament. All the clubs from the US are invited to come play. You don't have to play. It's fun. It's really, I think, important for the health of USA Water Polo. And AWP, I would say a league that is somewhat parallel maybe to USA Water Polo. There's a lot of high school kind of rely on American Water Polo for their framework. It's an insuring body. Both USA Water Polo and American Water Polo are insuring bodies that make sure coaches and players are protected while they're in the water. In that way, it's very similar. USA Water Polo also does high schools. I think quite a few Texas high school leagues are within USA Water Polo. So it's just a matter of choice. I think the Georgia High School Water Polo Board has chosen to go with American Water Polo for various reasons. They are not very California-centric. USA Water Polo is trying not to be more so California-centric, but it's hard. California is the mecca of water polo, so I get it. Yeah, American Water Polo is more devoted, I'd say, to the East Coast. USA Water Polo is really trying to grow outside of California. There's some good things coming our way, but I would say that's the differences. In Atlanta specifically, the AWP is really just the high school league, because water polo is not high school sanctioned in Atlanta yet. I am currently working with Stu from Dynamo and a couple other parents to get water polo to be a sanctioned sport in Georgia. If your kid plays water polo, once it's sanctioned, your kid can achieve a letter. That's just something we're working towards. But since we don't have that, in order to be insured, we need American Water Polo to be our insuring body. Now, there was another question about the ODP pipeline. What is it? How does it work? The best way I could describe it is, while tournament play is typically your team going against other teams, ODP is looking for individual players. So ODP stands for Olympic Development Program. Every October at Dynamo, a ODP clinic is held. And so players show up on their own, not with their team. So they just come, they sign up for the clinic, they come, and they get the chance to play in front of USA Water Polo scouts. And the scouts kind of roam the deck. They choose players based on speed, agility, skills, coachability is very important. Each age group is divided up. Development, that's 14 and under. Cadet is 16 and under. Youth program is 18 and under. Okay? And there's other camps that are held in Florida so that the Florida players have a chance to try out for the Southeast Zone. So once you're picked from Atlanta, let's just take, for example, I'll choose my daughter, Frankie. In fall 2020, Frankie was chosen to represent the Southeast Zone, be on that team, okay? So she went to regionals in North Carolina in January 2021. She competed on the Southeast Zone team. I think it was just Florida and Georgia represented on that team so far. Nobody else from other states were represented. So she played on the Southeast Zone team against the Great Lakes Zone, Northeast Zone, Midwest Zone. So in regionals, it's basically everything maybe east of the Mississippi or so. They further whittled down the team. So she stays on the Southeast Zone team. There is still a Southeast Zone team, but there's less of them. Instead of having maybe 2 teams representing her age group and her gender, there's 1 now. And now they're on to nationals. Nationals last year was hosted in San Antonio. We went to San Antonio. We played against the Mountain Zone, Hawaii, Pacific Northwest, Southwest, just the rest of the country. At that tournament, there are scouts walking around and they're choosing players for the next level. It's 40 players from each age group and each gender. So there were 40 girls, 14 and under, chosen for the national team selection camp. Frankie was in that 40. They go to national team selection camp. That was in California. For like 3 or 4 days, you just kind of are put through a bunch of tests, a bunch of drills. How fast can you sprint? How fast can you catch and release? Or how many times can you touch the crossbar in 30 seconds? And if you pass all those tests and you do better than, half of the people there, then you get to be chosen for the national team. And once you make the national team, you can travel. Last year, the cadet and youth went to Budapest and Athens. The different levels are the camp in Atlanta here, then regionals, then nationals, national team selection camp, European travel or foreign travel. So, and that's all within USA Water Polo. That is not within American Water Polo. American Water Polo does not offer that. American Water Polo does not go to supply players for the national team. USA Water Polo is the pipeline for the national team. I think that's it. Thank you so much for trusting us with your children, trusting us with these decisions we've been making, and allowing us to start to build our vision and provide a highly competitive program to Atlanta. Hopefully we'll see lots of just great talent come up through our club. I would love to see that. But yeah, I think that's it.